Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Maize Madman. Before we get started, you know the drill. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're aware every time I upload a video. Today, we will be discussing some Michigan recruiting notes, including Michigan having the fastest man on planet Earth, Gatlin Bair, on campus this past weekend, plus what Jim Harbaugh has to say about Michigan's NIL, and I assure you, you will like it. And we'll discuss a couple Michigan misses, all that, and of course, I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully, but disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans, poor little girl, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus, the other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. I'm gonna tell him why I'm mad. I'm mad because the other state continues to show just how classy they are. Take a look no further than this tweet here from Hoove, as he calls himself, Hoove VGO Bucks 1. I don't even know what that means. It's stupid. But anyway, he says, speaking of, by the way, Gatlin Bair, the fastest man on planet Earth, who visited Michigan this past weekend, 4-star wide receiver who's on the verge of being a 5-star wide receiver, probably should be a 5-star wide receiver, but we'll get into that in just a second. But this guy, Hoove, had this to say about Gatlin Bair. Maybe he is fast on the track, but he can't ball. He is white. You know what? By this logic, right? The great Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus Christ of Ohio State recruiting, Brian Hartline, shouldn't even, right? Because wasn't he a Buckeye? He was white when he was a Buckeye playing. He's white now. Anyway, we all know how ridiculous of a statement this is. This is a stupid statement from a person who clearly is not intelligent enough to be making statements. Some people shouldn't make statements, and this is one of them. This guy shouldn't have a Twitter account because stuff like this gets said. But Gatlin Bair, being the classy guy that he is, responds, "Dang. Good to know." Shout out to you, Gatlin Bair. Way to take the high road. This should be expected from those vile, disgusting, cesspool-ridden, laden Buckeyes. But anyway, I digress. We move on. Jim Harbaugh had this to say about Michigan and their NIL efforts with Empower, saying, quote, "There's incredible momentum in our NIL program. I can see that coupled with everything else Michigan has with our current Empower program. That is going to be really hard for anybody to say no to Michigan. Coupled with everything else Michigan does, and that includes incoming recruits, that includes players that are already on the team, knowing that the grass isn't greener anywhere else. Anybody who would want to transfer in, grad transfer in, I can envision it being a very hard place to say no to." End quote. The Wolverines, who have won back-to-back Big Ten titles, obviously doing a positive thing with this NIL, at least by Jim Harbaugh standards. We'll see how it all plays out in the end. Of course, it couldn't help Michigan with people that they were favored to get in the 2024 class just recently with Aaron Childs, Darian Mayo, and those two, I guess, were the favorites, and even David Poly, who looks like he may be a Penn State lean now. But I digress. We are over that. Those guys, we wish nothing but the best to. Obviously, we'll see how it works out for them in the future. And again, nothing but the best. Speaking of some Michigan misses, obviously, Bryce West, the cornerback out of Cleveland Glenville High School, committed to the Buckeyes over the weekend. It was a bit controversial as his sister put up early that he was committing to the Buckeyes before, he got a chance to make that announcement. She jumped the gun just a little bit. That obviously hit the internet and it went viral very fast. Michigan players, I'm sorry, not Michigan players, but the Michigan fandom was struck hard by it. They started, preemptively tweeting that he was a Buckeye, to which some of the senior members of the Michigan fandom, including myself, had to remind people, hey, let this high school kid have his moment and announce that the way he wants to announce it, including some of Michigan's current 2024 class. I think Luke Hamilton was one of the guys who came out and said for people to take down the information that they had so that Bryce West could have and enjoy his moment. So again, success and health to Bryce West. And unless you're playing the Wolverines, of course, and we'll see what happens with Aaron Scott, the other 4-star corner out of the state of Ohio, Springfield, and where he ends up. Bryce West had narrowed his list down to just the other state, and Michigan, of course, choosing the other state. It was to be expected. I did have a glimmer of hope myself, and maybe that was foolish of me because Glenville is like a factory for Buckeyes, and he just follows in a long line of guys that have chosen the Buckeyes. So we'll see what happens with Aaron Scott. I still have a glimmer of hope there, but we will have to see what happens. Moving on. Speaking of high-ranking players that have been considering Michigan, Justin Scott, and speaking of Scotts too, Justin Scott, who just visited the Wolverines a couple weeks ago, had an official to the other state. It is now being said that Miami, who was considered to be a front runner along with Notre Dame, is receiving less consideration because Scott would like to stay closer to home, which puts this in squarely in a Michigan Notre Dame showdown. We'll see how that plays out, but my chips are on the Wolverines. Of course, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you think Michigan lands Justin Scott, 5-star defensive lineman out of St. Ignatius in Illinois, or do you think he goes to the Fighting Irish, those redhead stepchild to the West? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Also, let me know what you think about Michigan's NIL efforts and that classless hoove on Twitter. Let's speak about it in the comment section. Moving on. The Wolverines did have some recruits on campus this past weekend for the last recruiting or official visit weekend before the dead period, including 4-star wide receiver Gatlin Bair. Of course, I've spoken a lot about Gatlin Bair here on this channel, and he was on campus, his first time in Ann Arbor, actually, on campus speaking with the coaches. He said he got a chance to speak with Jim Harbaugh, of course, Jay Harbaugh, Ron Bellamy, the wide receivers coach, and a couple other guys, including Sharon Moore. And according to Gatlin Bair, the visit went great. Michigan is considered a top school for Gatlin Bair, and including actually on 3, Michigan is in the lead for Gatlin Bair in terms of his commitment. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Gatlin Bair, of course, nothing much needs to be said. He's like the fastest recruit in the nation. He beat even last year's coveted Michigan 5-star who ended up going to South Carolina, the 5-star athlete Nicholas Harbaugh, in a 100-meter dash. He is absolutely a beast, and not just on the track. If you look at his football film, he's phenomenal. He's unquestionably a future star. Of course, there are a couple of hiccups in the road, and the major one being that he is going to take a 2-year mission. It's a LDS mission, of course. If you don't know what that is, just Google it. Church of Latter-day Saints. He's going to go on a mission for 2 years. So even if he commits in the 2024 class, he probably won't be available for the Wolverines until 2026 at the earliest. Either way, though, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have lost so much speed that he wouldn't be helpful to the Wolverines. Of course, during his visit, he spent a lot of time with Colston Loveland, who is also from Idaho and actually had the same coach as Gatlin Bair, the same high school coach. They shared a high school coach who now coaches Gatlin Bair, but Coach Colston Loveland in the past. Jay Harbaugh has spent a lot of time in that area of the country and really recruited Gatlin Bair and Colston Loveland really well. So that's always good to know. He spoke about getting to meet the other Michigan wide receivers, including Cornelius Johnson. So it sounds like it was all positive. Hopefully it works out for the Wolverines. This will be a major, major get for them. I'll keep you posted as more information becomes available. We've got some dates, some recruit commitment dates of some Michigan targets, including four-star linebacker, in-state linebacker Jeremiah Beasley. He is set to make his decision on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, the 28th. He is rated as the 313th recruit in the nation. We'll keep you up to date on that. Also this week on Friday, Michael Uini, the high four-star offensive tackle out of Texas, will be making his decision. He is ranked the 126th prospect in the nation. And of course, he will be making his decision on Friday. So those are the two decisions that will be made this week. David Poly, who coming off of his Michigan official was considered a Michigan lock. It looks like he is now a Penn State lock, but we'll have to find out for ourselves on the 1st, July 1st. He'll be making his decision. Elias Rudolph, the edge out of Ohio, or out of Florida by way of Ohio, but back to Ohio. It's weird. Elias Rudolph, the 256th ranked prospect in the nation, will be making his decision on the 3rd. Aaron Scott from Springfield, Ohio. This one will be hotly contested, and all eyes will be on this one on the 4th, July 4th. He'll be making his decision. And Jordan Shipp, the 4-star wide receiver out of Providence Day School, where he is teammates with 5-star quarterback Jaden Davis and 4-star wide receiver Channing Goodwin. He'll be making his decision on July 16th. Keep those dates open, of course. I will be updating you as that information comes in. Speaking of commitments, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Michigan got the commitment of 4-star edge Dominic Nichols. So shout out to Dominic Nichols. Michigan now has the 3rd ranked class, according to 24/7, behind the Georgia Bulldogs and the other state. Hotly, or coming up fast, though, is Florida, who I believe actually on the point system is equal to Michigan according to the ranking. So Michigan shares that 3rd ranked position with the Gators. But we have reached that time in the video where I must bid you adieu. But be sure to, in the comment section, let me know of those commitment announcement dates. Who do you think goes blue? Who do you think goes elsewhere? Let's talk about it in the comment section. And until next time, stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'ma calm down. Son. I just don't get that all that Maize and that lock and all that. I just don't get it, son, for real.
Just calm
And how the